Okay, let's jump into the stamps. There are 4 brand new stamp sets. I just saw a comment that Amy, Paula said, so sad that the storage pouches are sold out. Hope they come back soon. Paula, it's just one. It is just one of the storage pouches. It is the, we call it the 7-Eleven. The 7-Eleven storage pouch. It's a little bit larger than that, but oh, here it is. It's this one, all right? They are actually on order. They're being manufactured now. So these will come back in stock, but this is the only one that is sold out right now. All of the others are still in stock, and there are a lot of them. A lot of them. All right. If I've missed any, you guys, if I've missed any questions, and we haven't been able to answer them for you, please go ahead and put them in again. And we'll get them answered. Carrie, yes. Yes, Carrie. Yes. So, I'll answer your question in just a minute. All right. So let's take a look at the stamps. There are 4 new stamp sets, and 2 new dies. But first, I'll show you this guy. These guys just came in. This is the 2.75-inch round acrylic block. So a little bit of a larger acrylic block. This guy also works very well because that's how we designed it. Hang on, my back is to you. I'm just looking for this stamp set. Where is it? Well, oh, here it is. For the In the Circle stamp set. So if you have or are getting the In the Circle stamp set, that is meant to work with that size, but just a good kind of, size for whatever you might need. Ooh, why is that one there? All right, so the new stamps. Let's take a peek at the new stamps. There are 4 new stamp sets for March and 2 new metal dies. All right. Oh, I also need to remember this. Actually, I'm going to stop for a second and go back to this. I store my dies. I get a lot of questions now that we're doing dies about how I store my metal dies. So we've put together a product for you. So now you can buy a bundle to store your metal dies. So basically that bundle is including 5 5x7, about, I think it's 1/32 of an inch thick magnetic sheets. So 5 of those, and 5 of the 5x7 stamp storage sleeves. All right. So the stamp storage sleeves are what I use to store all of my personal stamps in. There are 3x4s, 4x6, 5x7s, and 6x8s. But now this new storage solution for your metal dies. It is a bundle of, as I said, it's a bundle of 5. So you have 5 of your 5x7 magnetic sheets and stored in 5 of those little stamp storage sleeves. All right. So for example, this is my very well used and loved In the Box 2 stamp set. It's a 5x7 stamp set. I have it stored in one of the 5x7 stamp storage sleeves. And then also in there, I have the 5x7 magnetic sheet and the coordinating dies for that stamp set. So just kind of keeps everything nice and together so you don't lose your little metal dies. All right, that's up, and that's also on sale for 15% off. Let's take a look at the 4 stamps. The first stamp, this one is called I've got all kinds of Reggie hairs in here. This one is called By the Numbers 1. By the Numbers 1, that will tell you that there are more versions of By the Numbers coming. The second one is already designed, and I already have my samples, but you'll have to wait for that one for a couple months. Anyhow, By the Numbers 1. So this actually came as a suggestion from one of you. It came from Karen Haynes. And she said, you know what, Layle? I love doing my lists, and I'd like them to be numbered, but I don't want to have to stamp each number 1 by 1 by 1. So could you just give us a stamp set that has like 1 through 10? And I said, okay, yes, let's do that. But I did something a little bit different with it, because knowing you might not always want to go all the way to 10, this is 2 stamps, 1 through 5 and 6 through 10. So If you want to do 1 through 10, then you just stamp both of those together. And if you only want to do 1 through 5, then you have 1 through 5. So I have used this on a list. This is a 2x6 stamp set. I've used that in one of our lists. Oh yes, that would be, gosh, I've got Reggie hair everywhere here. Let's see. Oh yes, here we go. This one, things I'd like to dislike. This is a list that we did together last Saturday. And I stamped the 1 through 5 and then followed it right up with 6 through 10. All right, that is by the numbers 1. The next stamp set, this one is tabs and labels. And I think it was it Carrie? Kyla? Someone asked, I think it was Carrie, if there is a die set coming with this. Yes. You'll see the coordinating die set come out in May. We just got the samples for this this week. So for the coordinating metal die set. The stamp set's in stock, but you'll see the coordinating metal die set come out in May. We have to. Their stamp sets are made in the U.S. The dies are manufactured in China. Because they're manufactured in 2 different places, we have to get them and test to make sure that all the measurements are correct and everything. So this is currently available. That is a 4x4 stamp set, tabs and labels. So let's take a look at a couple ways this has been used. I have a couple of examples to share with you that the design team, they got their stamps about a week ago, and they have been designing like mad with the new product. So you will see all of these examples that I'm going to share with you with the stamps on the website under each of the products, but because I don't have the physical samples, I printed them off so I could show you. So let's start with the samples using the tabs and label stamp set. So we'll take a look at this one again in a minute, but right here, Marcia, this one is designed by my design team member, Marcia Ferris. She just used that little tab stamp to stamp on a piece of pattern paper, and then she cut it out. Now, because she doesn't have the die yet, but in May, you'll also have the coordinating die that goes with that. So just a nice little generic tab. So that is one example. This guy, you are going to see a number of times. So Tara, I never pronounce her name right. Chazé, I want to say maybe. She created this amazing project using a couple of new stamps and dies. But to show you right now how she used the tabs and labels. So there's the circle label. There is the banner label. There is kind of the label. Here it is again. She's used the tab stamps right there. Another smaller label there. Tab, label, and then tab again and label again. So now that we see that in action, as we look back at that, there's the circle, there's the large label, there's the tab, there's the small label. And then this one, in this project, you'll see this again in a minute because she did something very cool with another stamp and die set. This one Laura Lee created. And look at what she did with the circles. How fun is that? She stamped the circles and then additional stamps. So here she used the little mini icons photography. She used a couple of puffy stickers. She put a couple of flowers in. But isn't that such a fun idea, a way to use that circle stamp? All righty, so that is the first stamp set, or the second one, not even the first one, the second one. This one I can tell is going to be incredibly popular based on, now the design team gets to pick, they get their pick. They can, if they wanted all the new stamps, all the new dies, I don't limit them to anything because I want them to work and play because it just gives you guys so many different ideas. So every single design team member said, I want to work with this. This is the new In the Envelope stamp set. In the Envelope, it is a 4x6 stamp set. There is your envelope. This one has been in the back of my mind since I did the typewriter. The typewriter stamp and die is part of In the News. so long ago. But this little in the envelope, wait until you see how this has been used. Besides the envelope, you have some fun words, photo evidence, just the details, fun enclosed, open, pull, a couple of different arrows. I love this. Things I can't say out loud, and then a little tab. So with your little tab, you can put open, you could put pull, you could have your little arrows kind of pointing up so you could pull things out of the envelope. So now that you've seen that stamp set, take a look at how it's been used. So this is Layle, and if you guys, like I said, if you'd like to see kind of these a little bit more up close, you can see them on the website under the in the envelope stamp. Layle stamped and then used the coordinating metal die. The coordinating metal die set to create 3 different stacked envelopes. And they're pockets, right? Because she used the die set to create a little pocket. You have your little wings on the die, so they fold underneath, create a little pocket. And so she has created little cards to go in her pocket of her favorite hobbies, art, craft, and sewing, right? Isn't that a fun way? Just kind of a little stacked example there. I'm going to show, well, I'll show you. There's a sneak peek in another new stamp set there. Marcia Ferris did this one. So look at here, she has little journaling cards coming out of her envelope. So again, stamped the envelope on a fun piece of pattern paper, added a die cut, adhered that down to create a pocket, and then you have those little pieces coming out of the envelope. So fun, right? You're also seeing another sneak peek of another stamp set there. So we'll put that one off to the side. Now, this guy is this project that we took a look at a minute ago that Tara did. This is a little mini book. So she used the in the envelope stamp set to create a mini book. On the stamp set, you'll notice there's the bottom of the envelope, but there's not the top of the envelope. So we didn't need to give you a top of the envelope. If we gave you a top of the envelope, this would have to go into a 5x7 stamp set and would increase your costs pretty significantly from a 4x6. When you look at this part, that part right there, if you mask it off when you stamp, that is now the top of your envelope. So that is what Tara did here to create her little mini book. Envelope, top of the envelope that can open. As you see this open, look at that. She created little hinges there for all of her envelopes. When you open that little mini book, you have all those little hinged envelopes that are double-sided, by the way. So, right, she's got them on both sides. You can include your journaling, include photos, memorabilia, all the really fun things there with that kind of with that little envelope and die set. So very fun idea of what she did there. Tara always does a lot of interactive things, lots of little pop-up cards and mini books using the stamps and dies, which I just love so much. There's kind of a close-up. All right. Then Layle she was so inspired. I don't know. She sent me like 6 different projects, which amazing. Here is another one. And you guys, I laughed when I saw this. The reason I laughed, well, it's so cute. I loved it. But the reason I laughed, Layle, she didn't know this when she designed this and sent it to me. She did a list about then and now. Then back in 2020, when she started watching my lives, our lives on Saturdays, compared to now, 5 years later. Well, if you got the email yesterday for our listing topics on Saturday, tomorrow, we're doing a then and now, a 5 years ago, the beginning of the pandemic, and then and now. So I just chuckled. It was very much a kind of a great minds think alike. But how fun is this? She created, again, a little pocket. She used a piece of, that may be red cardstock, but she stamped red on top of her red cardstock, created the pocket with the die, and then added that to her Traveler's Notebook page, and then added a couple tags. So many different things that you could do with this. You could do gift cards in there on a greeting card. There's just so many different things that you could do with this. So I will use the stamp and die set tomorrow on Saturday for one of our lists. So she also used a couple of different stamps on that. She used the In the Circle months. And then another sneak peek at the last stamp set. So we'll take a look at that one again in a minute. This one that Susanna did. So Susanna also used the in the envelope stamp and die set, and then created a fun, cute little tag, but she created a kind of four photos up on a single 4x6 that you could then pull out of that little pocket to look at additional photos. Right? Aren't those just some amazing projects that the design team did with those stamps and dies in an incredibly short amount of time, I tell you, an incredibly short amount of time. So talented. So thank you to those ladies. All right. So fourth new stamp set, and then I have another new die to show you. So hang tight. This one is Reggie Alpha Large Lowercase. So this is the third in a series of Reggie Alpha. Yes, Reggie, named after Reggie the cat. Gosh, Reggie the cat, the first stamp set, we didn't even have Reggie. That's when Sam still had Reggie, when Sam was, after Sam got Reggie. Sam wasn't living with us. He's not. Reggie is, Sam's not. But anyhow, so it's just so funny that now Reggie's such a huge part of our lives. Third in the series of Reggie stamp sets. That is a 6x8 set, so larger alphas. On the website, when you look at that, it will tell you the size of the range, so the height and the width of the stamps, so you get a really good feel for that. Because we had more room on the stamp set, we have given you a couple of additional vowels and consonants that you need sometimes in a word. You need multiples. So you have double A's, double E's, double I's, double O's, double R's, T's, and S's. All right. So there we go. That is Reggie Alpha Large Lowercase. So let's go back. Actually, we'll start with these two new ones. I told you Laura Lee was like on a, she was on such a, I don't know, what am I saying? On such a, she had lots of mojo. So this, she has used that Reggie Large Lowercase Alpha just to kind of talk about her day out, some of the things that she was doing that day with her cute daughter. Is there a Reggie bundleable? Yes, Leah. I can do, Amy, if you will shoot me an email, I will put a bundle up. It takes just about 10 or 15 minutes to put a bundle up. So I will put a bundle up of Reggie Alpha, the 3 Reggie Alpha stamp sets. And if you already ordered this one and now you're like, oh shoot, I'd really like the bundle, just shoot me an email and we'll take care of it for you on the back end. All right. So Amy, if you'd let me know, that'd be awesome. The other thing that's coming, I just ran out of time, is a bundle for the 3 idea books. There's already a bundle for the first 2. All right, here we go again. This is using that Reggie Large Lowercase Alpha, but look at how that, just stamping a word, how that really kind of pulls that whole kind of project together. That's what you really focus on. That's where your eye is drawn. And then you kind of start working your way around to see everything else. And look at, she used word strip stickers on that. That's so fun. All right, so that is Reggie Alpha, and she used, or Reggie Alpha Large Lowercase, that's a mouthful. She also paired it with the Grateful stamp set and a couple of other stamp sets. All right, so now that you see this stamp set, you can see Susanna used it there. Poppy experience. I had to read this because I'm like, poppy, like flowers? Did she go look at poppies? Apparently, Poppy is they're little baby pygmy baby pygmy hippos. So anyhow, fun though, right? And she used a couple of different colors. She also went vertical. So if you are working in a smaller space, you have larger stamps, you don't have to stay horizontal. Go vertical, and that fit very well. Back to this one. Originally, I thought that she used Reggie Alpha. She didn't. Then and Now is actually from the Opposites Attract stamp set. But you could do the same thing because guess what? It is the same font. I really love this one. Here we go back to Marsha's project. She stamped the word spring with that Reggie Alpha Large Lowercase. And then going back to Laura Lee's. So with Laura Lee, she actually used 2 Alpha stamp sets here. She used Reggie Large Alpha for her little cards in her pockets. And then hobbies is Tally Alpha. Tally Alpha has been around for a little bit, but she used Reggie Alpha, large lowercase there. All right, so one more thing to show you. Holy moly, that's been a lot of stuff. The last one I want to show you is the currently word and shadow die. All right, so that is the word, that is the shadow. The currently stamp set. Oh gosh, where are those? I had those. Let me grab those very quickly. I had new ones out so I could show you. I don't know where. Oh, here they are. All right. So there are two currently stamp sets. The original currently. The original currently, this is one of the very first stamp sets I did. So this has probably been around, I don't know, maybe 3.5 years. The original currently. Last year, we released currently 2, which is just additional prompts for your currently. And now you have the currently word and shadow die set. So that cuts out perfectly currently. So you stamp currently, and then you can cut out the currently word, and then you can take it one step further and cut out the shadow die to kind of mount it. All right, so let's take a look at a couple of ways that has been used. We're going to go back to, there's one, and I have 3 of these. So and then this one, and then Tara also used it on her project again. Here they are. Did she? Yes. Okay. So there it is. In the photos are a little bit. It's just a little bit pixelated because I kind of blew them up to print. But you'll see she stamped currently in red, and then die cut it with the currently word, and then you see that yellow behind it. That yellow behind it is using the shadow die, so it really kind of helps it to pop up off of the page. Especially if you want to put something like that on white. It just kind of blends into the background, assuming if you were, just stamping currently on white cardstock. So there's one. The second one, Ty Cortez did this beautiful currently Traveler's Notebook spread. You'll see here that she stamped currently on black, then used the currently word die to cut it out, and then used the shadow die. So that shadow die she did in yellow to kind of match that same pattern paper that she used for the base of her spread. And then Laura Lee did another one. She was on fire. So here she did, she stamped currently and then used the word die there. So she wanted that to kind of blend in a little bit more of the background. So she did not use the shadow die, just used the currently word die.